Okay, day 335.3. There's a couple of questions I want to answer really quickly so that I clarify. The way this all started was Debbie Wasserman Schultz inherited all of these accounts, or many of these, this whole system of BlackBerries and so forth, from Anthony Weiner. This was all started by Chuck Schumer as a protege of him. Anthony Weiner was his guy that started this whole BlackBerry thing. So I want to make clear, through Inter-American, through that whole program, 2000 to 2004, well, I think it started in actually 99, Anthony Weiner. And Anthony Weiner ran this program until 2011, before Debbie Wasserman became the DNC chairman. That was when Kempner was running this whole thing. I want to be clear about that she inherited this mess. She did not create this mess. The people she created, and these fake accounts that were created, were initially created to get people email accounts. The email accounts were for people that were waiting for citizenship, that they could work on projects up here, have access to these files while waiting for citizenship. In her mind, that's all she thought she was doing by creating the accounts initially. The money went toward funding, I believe, this is not confirmed, funding DNC applications, voter get out the vote applications, those type of applications, the money that was paid to those employees. So I believe she has a defense here. She might have just said, look, hey, I felt like these people's citizenship was being impeded. They were performing work that would be paid normally at $160,000 a year. I was just paying them fair market rate as if I was to go down here to one of these body shops and pay to have those applications developed. And I think she has a point there. I think she cut a corner here, though. The second thing is she didn't realize how the technology was being used. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I am positive, thinks that's the extent of this. This was application development for people. If it had to be straw employees, it had to be straw employees, because she felt strong enough about these people that were doing this development that she would go out on a limb for them, and that the Democratic cause and the Democratic Party needed these applications to get out the vote, to make sure they weren't cheated in elections, to make sure that they didn't get shortchanged in elections, to make sure the people had their voice. Okay? I think there's a defense here for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'm not saying there should be no punishment, but I am saying that she inherited it, first of all. The second thing is, I'm saying that she probably would have had to pay about the same amount of money, if not more. Now, the shared employee thing was a bad deal, because once you start going to shared employees, you end up with fake employees. That shared employees makes fake employees. We had a whole inquiry here in 2008 over that whole thing. That's not a good thing. And the problem is, once this starts, it starts going downhill rapidly. Because then you start saying, oh, you know, the Anthony Weiners of the world and the Hillary Clintons and the Huma Abedins start saying, hey, let's start giving these things out like candy. Let's start making different directories for different deals. We'll have an Iran directory, and we'll have a, this directory, a ports directory. We'll have an LA directory, for Long Beach, and we'll have one for Tampa, and we'll have one for dark weapons. We'll have one for, Turkish doctors. It's a slippery slope. It starts going downhill. Once you put the spy ring in, once you put that capability in and start doping the BlackBerries in Congress, that's when other people downstream, the David Petraeuses of the world, that's where they betray you. And this is a story of someone who fell in love with a spy. This is a story of someone who fell in love with a spy. Were they married in 2004 secretly? I don't know. Did they have children together? I believe yes. I believe she's a good woman. I think she's been put in a very difficult position, a very difficult situation. When you give people the capability, when you skirt around the rules and you do the shared employee thing and you start creating fake employees and then justifying fake loans for the fake employees and justifying fake houses for the fake employees and justifying cars, that's all that downstream stuff was not her doing. That was all other folks. That was all the the alphabet soup folks that took over. Once they got that foot in the door, using kind of her heart, that's when they took advantage. And she's inheriting something that she had nothing to do with creating. And boy, I tried, Debbie, but nobody's coming forward, and I don't know how much time's left.